Hey everybody, Arjun here. In today's video, I'll be going over all the major changes investors should be aware of for 2023. As many of you know already, this year has seen some of the highest inflation numbers on record, hovering at about 8-ish%. The impact of this is that every dollar today is worth less than it was a year ago. So it would only make sense that the IRS would make adjustments to account for this. Today, I'll be covering all of those updates, including how to use them to set yourself up for success next year. As usual, I'll also have numerous tips scattered along the way, so do stick around to the end. Alright, so let's start off with retirement accounts. I'm not gonna explain what each of them are. I have made dedicated videos on each one, which you can find down in the description box below. For the 401k, employee contributions will increase by $2,000 to $22,500 for 2023. This is the largest increase ever, both in terms of dollar amounts and in terms of percentage. Remember, 401ks come in two forms, the Roth and the traditional, and these limits apply across both of them. It's important to ensure that you're at least contributing up until the employer match so as to not leave any money on the table. If you're thinking about adjusting contributions, you want to do it so that it's in place for the first payday of the year. In my experience, it generally takes 1 to 2 pay periods to reflect any changes, so do act accordingly. For companies that allow special after-tax contributions, the employee plus employer limit has increased to $66,000. The IRA is an individual retirement account. For the first time since 2019, limits are increasing by $500 to $6,500. I had grown to appreciate the simplicity of a nice stable $500 monthly payment to max out, but that will need to be updated to $250 every 2 weeks for 2023. For Roth IRAs, where money you contribute is after tax, eligibility is based on your income. Once you're in a certain income range, then the amount you can contribute gets reduced until you hit a certain limit where you're no longer eligible. For 2023, those limits are $153,000 if you're single or $228,000 if you're married filing jointly. Honestly, I have no idea why these limits even exist because you can just sidestep them through a process called the backdoor method. I have a whole video on this up here if you're interested. The HSA is a health savings account. Next year, individual contributions will cap out at $3,850. Typically, these limits were going up by $50 a year, putting 2023's increase at 4x the normal amount. The equivalent family contribution limit is $7,750. If your employer also contributes, remember that that amount is also subject to this limit. To even be eligible for an HSA, you need to have a high deductible health plan. The name says health savings account, but it should really be used as a health investing account to make the most of it. So it's probably best to set up automatic investments with every paycheck. By the way, if you're 50 plus, you're allowed catch-up contributions across all these accounts. There were also cost of living adjustments applied to the tax brackets. They will jump 7% across the board. Just to give you an idea of the impact, a married couple making $150,000 in both 2022 and 2023 will see their tax bill reduced by $1,000. Although you might start seeing marginally higher paychecks in January, your effective spending power will be lower than a year prior. So this is why it's so important to focus on growing your income to at least match inflation. A common mistake I see people making is forgetting that tax brackets are marginal. Only the portion of income that falls within that higher bracket is taxed at the higher rate, not all of the income. So you should never ever decline a raise thinking that it'll push you into a higher tax bracket and you'll owe more in taxes. By the way, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you found value in this video so far. The standard deduction for tax filing is also getting a bump. For single filers, it's increasing by $900 to $13,980. For couples, it's increasing by $1,800 to $27,700. Given the rough year that we're having, I was hoping for the capital loss write-off to go up too, but that stays consistent at $3,000 a year. My plan is to continue maxing these accounts out in 2023, just as I did in 2022. My investments within each of these accounts are low-cost, broad market index funds. You can even consider maxing these accounts out early in the year to have more time in the market. However, if you want to be on the safe side, spreading these investments out over the course of the year is not a bad idea at all, especially given the macroeconomic conditions. The market is down and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. So sticking to your guns and continuing to contribute will pay dividends when the market roars back. We just need to be patient. If you're able to max these accounts out, that's almost $33,000 invested per person. This is a great goal to have and will most certainly set you up for a comfortable retirement. However, the vast majority will not be able to contribute so much, and that's completely fine. Nobody is going to yell at you, just put in whatever you can. In fact, only 12% of Vanguard holders were able to max out their 401k in 2020, and most of them were over 50 years old. So put in what you're comfortable with, work to increase your income over time, and scale contributions accordingly. That brings me to the end for today. Hope you feel a little bit more prepared for 2023, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.